Howdy folks, this is Father Dougal 9000 here, and welcome to a special episode of Game Finish Trios, a series where I talk about the games I've played and beaten as part of the Hardcore Gaming 101 Forums Game Finish Challenge. It's a special episode because, and this is quite mad to say, it's the 50th episode of the series. Yeah, we've somehow been doing this for 50 bloody episodes, and although there's been a few breaks every now and again, I've mostly managed to put these out on a weekly basis over the last year and a bit. That's genuinely really bonkers to think about, since I'm not really great at consistently putting out stuff. So, man, that's wild. Now, I admit that by any standard, even the standard of bottom of the barrel and even through the bottom of the barrel to the center of the earth Z-listers, this series only gets a literal handful of views. Well, that's okay. I like putting these things together for myself, and if folks happen to watch them, then that's pretty grand too. It's like a kind of gardening, but for videos. I hope you'll stay in the garden for as long as it takes your fancy. Today's games were originally logged from the 22nd of February to the 8th of March 2022. Rex, Another Island, for the Windows, that one. I got to looking through my collection of games bought from that itch.io racial justice bundle from 2020 again, and I stumbled across this pretty neat platformer by Shy Soar Soft, that's an annoying name to say quickly, where you play as a dinosaur exploring a large interconnected level. There's no upgrades, apart from unlocking spots that you can fast travel between, so you have the ability to run straight across the world and reach the end in only a few minutes, if you fancy. But you can also unlock more endings by collecting 5 magic gems hidden in tricky dungeons scattered about, or by collecting all 777 coins dotted about the place. The way you grab those coins is actually quite cool, because they're only considered collected if you bring them to a checkpoint. Dying otherwise takes you back and you lose all those coins. It adds a neat risk-reward system to the adventure, because you could make quite a ways into a dungeon or get a couple tricky coins and then screw up, die, and have to do it all over again. And it made for a terribly addictive game. In fact, I ended up beating this in a single 52-minute sitting because I kept thinking, you know what, I'll just play another bit. I'll get a few more coins, maybe unlock another fast travel spot, and before I knew it, I found myself with 4 magic gems and at the end of the game. I actually went back and grabbed the last magic gem, which I'd previously ignored because there was a certain spot I was having trouble with, and I got myself the magic gems ending. I decided not to go for all of the coins, just grab what I could, but I'm sure it's quite manageable if I really wanted to do so. As is, I'm happy to leave things at that and consider this a very cool game to spend an hour with. Definitely worth checking out if you're into that kind of collectathon, slightly Metroidy but not really 2D platformer. Cruis'n USA for the Nintendo 64. I've been in the mood to play a racing game from the 90s for quite a while now. I'm pretty fond of that particular streak of games where you drive through cool landscapes and just focus on the sheer in-the-moment feeling of turning, navigating tight squeezes, and listening to cool as hell music. I attempted to play the PlayStation versions of Need for Speed 1 and 2, but those are quite tough games. Even to just finish a single race in any position other than like dead last is really quite tricky. Understandable, you know, really get your mileage out of however many racetracks you can deal with, and you gotta get really good at the game to really get anywhere, which is good. It's just not for me, and there aren't really any difficulty settings to offset that, so I gave those up, wasn't really sure where to turn. And then I found this among the collection of Nintendo 64 games that had been released on the Wii Virtual Console and grabbed it on the spot. I was faintly aware of Cruis'n USA through its various cheeky secrets, the incredibly goofy and amazing title screen theme tune, and the most recent game in the series being ported to the Switch. But now that I've played it, I'm so pleasantly surprised at how it's exactly what I was looking for. No frills, put a brick on the accelerator type driving where you visit all manner of places while just managing to squeak into first place or hit the checkpoints in time. The controls are a little tricky in how pushing the analog stick full tilt essentially causes you to oversteer like mad, though I got used to that after a while. I really appreciate also how the game lets you resume your progress in the main Cruis'n the USA mode from whichever track you quit. So it's actually quite excellent for dropping in and out of, even though this only took me like half an hour to beat, not even. Apparently the Nintendo 64 version is considered a dreadful port, but I gotta be honest, I can't really figure out for the life of me why. Maybe if I had played the arcade version I could compare this and better understand, but no, I just don't see it. The frame rate was perfectly fine, the controls in Collision were slightly strange but dependable otherwise, and I never had a problem just playing the thing and having a good time. Honestly, the only problem might be that the sound playback was a bit dodgy with the fizzling and crackling noises, though I'd honestly just chalk this up to an emulation problem as I was playing, well, sort of the Wii Virtual Console version. I was playing it on a modded Wii, and maybe there's some issue with that, whereas if you get the proper legit version it's fine. I don't know, it was just acting very strangely, the audio, but otherwise the actual playing of the thing was grand. It's a pretty good game, as Cruis'n USA. Definitely give it a look, even to just listen to that theme tune and have some fun driving down American highways. What better way to live? Maptroid for the browser. This is a short, independently developed game about distilling the concept of a Metroidvania into its most abstract and basic form. You're moving around a map screen and you find items that let you explore differently colored squares. You dig holes to squares down below, and you bust through cracked walls to find other squares. There is no platforming, no combat, or anything of the sort. It really is just explore the map screen and find things to explore more of the map screen. As absurd as that sounds, it's actually quite enjoyable just moving around and discovering secrets. It's very, very short. You can easily explore the entire map and find everything in less than 15 minutes. I should know, that's exactly what happened with me. If you're in the mood for the feeling of discovery and exploration, but without any of the mechanical guff that might get in the way, like, oh god, I have to do some annoying combat sequences, or oh no, not platforming, or using some annoying traversal gimmick, definitely give this a bash. Also, if you're in the mood for more of this, like this exact style of game, a expanded sequel came out a few months later called Maptroid Worlds. I eventually beat that and talked about it on the show in the distant future of 2023, so look forward to that then. Although, here's a sneak preview, it's quite good. Give that a go if you fancy it. And with that, we've wrapped up the 50th episode of the series. Cripes. I hope that you enjoyed watching, whether it's just this video or any of the previous 49 episodes I've done, and that you'll tune in for the next one, and however many more of these I end up doing. Thank you so much, and until we meet again, have a wonderful day.